Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy on the meaning of life. Friedrich Nietzsche was a German philosopher whose work on life, individuality, and human values continues to influence modern thought. Nietzsche's philosophy on the meaning of life focuses less on finding an ultimate, universal purpose and more on creating personal meaning. He believed that each person has the power to shape their own life path, find their own purpose, and define what gives life value. This approach challenged traditional beliefs, and Nietzsche argued that humans must face the world honestly without relying on established rules or religious structures to define meaning. In Nietzsche's view, there is no single meaning of life handed down by a divine or supernatural force. Instead, he argued that life is inherently neutral, it does not come with preset value or purpose. This was a controversial view at the time, as most people sought meaning through religion, God, or traditional values. Nietzsche encouraged people to abandon any idea that life has a predetermined, universal meaning. For him, if life is void of built-in purpose, then it is up to each person to determine what will give their own life value. A key concept in Nietzsche's philosophy is what he calls the will to power. This idea means that humans are driven not only to survive but also to grow, excel, and create. Unlike many thinkers who believe that humans seek only pleasure or survival, Nietzsche saw human nature as fundamentally creative and ambitious. He encouraged people to channel their will to power to create their own values and meaning. Nietzsche saw this drive as a powerful force within each person. To him, those who could shape their lives according to their own values, rather than following the crowd, would be more fulfilled. This is not about dominating others, but about the power to shape oneself, to create a personal standard of success, and to pursue a meaningful life despite external obstacles. Nietzsche believed that each person must find what truly matters to them and pursue it relentlessly, even when society disagrees. One of Nietzsche's most famous ideas is that individuals must overcome the influence of societal norms and expectations. He argued that society often imposes values and standards that may not serve personal growth or happiness. Nietzsche believed that people frequently follow these values simply because they are widespread or traditional, without questioning if they genuinely resonate with them. For Nietzsche, finding meaning in life often requires breaking free from these social rules. It involves examining commonly accepted values and deciding if they are worth keeping or discarding. Nietzsche called this process a form of a self-overcoming. By distancing oneself from socially imposed standards, a person can focus on values that align with their true self and life aspirations. Nietzsche introduced the idea of the Ubermensch, often translated as Overman or Superman. The Ubermensch represents an ideal person who has created their own values and lives a life of purpose and strength. Nietzsche imagined this type of person as someone who can embrace their struggles, accept life's hardships, and still create meaning in a way that suits their inner drive. The concept of the Ubermensch is not about physical strength or superiority over others, it is about mental resilience, self-creation, and independence. An Ubermensch is someone who does not rely on pre-existing values or societal expectations but instead lives by principles they have developed themselves. This person accepts that life can be difficult and that pain is often a part of existence, yet they find the strength to live a meaningful life on their own terms. Nietzsche saw the Ubermensch as a model of self-created purpose and meaning, unshaken by external opinions or restrictions. One of Nietzsche's most famous quotes is, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." This statement reflects his belief that suffering and challenges are essential parts of life. Nietzsche argued that hardships should not be avoided, instead, they can be opportunities for growth. In his philosophy, facing suffering head-on and learning from it can lead to a deeper understanding of oneself and one's values. Pain and struggle, Nietzsche believed, are not obstacles but steps on the path to a meaningful life. Nietzsche encouraged people to see difficulties as opportunities to develop resilience. To him, only through facing hardship could someone discover their true character and find out what truly matters to them. This attitude towards suffering challenges the notion that a meaningful life is an easy or comfortable one. Nietzsche believed that those who could confront their struggles with courage and determination would ultimately find a greater sense of fulfillment. One thought experiment Nietzsche proposed is called eternal recurrence. He asked his readers to imagine that their life would repeat in exactly the same way for eternity, with all of its experiences, joys, and sufferings. He questioned whether people would be able to accept such a life and live it without regret. This idea is not about the literal repetition of life, but is meant to inspire people to live as if they would have to relive every moment forever. If someone would be happy to repeat their life eternally, it means they have lived in a way that they would not change. Nietzsche's question is meant to push people to live without regret, to seek meaning in every moment, and to embrace life as it is, with all its highs and lows. This approach is about accepting life fully, rather than hoping for an ideal, pain-free existence. Nietzsche believed that those who could affirm life in this way would have found true meaning. Nietzsche believed that people should see their lives as a form of art. Just as artists create paintings, music, or poetry, individuals can create a life that is uniquely their own. In this way, life becomes an act of creativity, and each choice contributes to the masterpiece of one's existence. By viewing life as art, Nietzsche encouraged people to make choices that align with their values, embrace the process of self-discovery, and live boldly. He saw this creative process as a way to add meaning and beauty to one's life, even without relying on external sources for validation or direction. At the core of Nietzsche's philosophy is the idea of authenticity, living in a way that is true to oneself rather than following someone else's expectations. Nietzsche saw authenticity as the foundation of a meaningful life. When someone lives authentically, they prioritize their own values, follow their instincts, and resist the urge to conform simply for acceptance. Nietzsche's philosophy of the meaning of life is about embracing freedom, understanding one's own desires and values, and having the courage to live according to those principles. It means taking full responsibility for one's life choices and finding purpose through the act of self-creation. Nietzsche's view on the meaning of life also places great importance on personal responsibility. Since life does not have a universal purpose, each person must take full responsibility for creating their own path. This responsibility can be intimidating, but Nietzsche saw it as empowering. By taking responsibility for one's choices and values, a person gains control over their life. This kind of self-determined life is what Nietzsche believed leads to true fulfillment. He argued that blaming others, society, or fate for one's situation would not bring any real satisfaction. Instead, the only way to lead a meaningful life is to take charge of one's actions, choices, and beliefs. Nietzsche believed that taking responsibility for oneself, even in difficult times, was essential for personal growth and meaning. Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy of the meaning of life is about embracing freedom, individuality, and the courage to create one's own purpose. He believed that life does not have a single, preset meaning and that each person must determine what matters to them. Nietzsche encouraged people to look beyond social expectations, face challenges as opportunities for growth, and take full responsibility for their lives. Nietzsche's view is ultimately empowering. It suggests that a meaningful life is within everyone's reach, provided they are willing to confront life's difficulties and live authentically. His ideas invite us to create lives that we can embrace fully, free from regret and filled with self-made meaning. If you enjoyed this exploration of Nietzsche's ideas, do not forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights into philosophy and the meaning of life.